morning. House Democrats met earlier today, and we are resolved to continue to stand up for the best interests of the American people. House Democrats, House Republicans, Senate Democrats, and Senate Republicans reached a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, prevent a shutdown, and meet the needs of the American people. We reached a bipartisan agreement that will help farmers, families, the future of working class Americans, children, seniors, veterans, and the men and women in uniform all across the nation and the world. That bipartisan agreement has now been detonated because House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt the very working class Americans that many of them pretend to want to help. This is a moment that's not about the incoming president. It's not about millionaires and billionaires. It's about the harm that House Republicans will do to the American people if the government shuts down. Families will be hurt. Farmers will be hurt. Everyday Americans whose lives were turned upside down by extreme weather events like hurricanes and floods and wildfires will be hurt if they don't get the relief that they need and deserve to improve their quality of life. If the government shuts down, holiday travel will be impacted. The ability of everyday Americans to visit their family, their friends, their loved ones will be impacted. Border security and Border Patrol agents will not be paid. TSA agents will not be paid. Small businesses will be hurt in every single community in this country. This reckless Republican-driven shutdown can be avoided if House Republicans will simply do what is right for the American people and stick with the bipartisan agreement that they themselves negotiated. I now yield to our distinguished whip, Katherine Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. The 118th Congress is going out just as it started. It is the GOP, the majority in the House, leading with chaos. And who is left on the sidelines? The American people. And the leader has set forth all the impacts in the short term of a government shutdown. It will impact government workers, our military families, all the small businesses and farmers and communities that are waiting for this disaster aid. It will impact our community health centers and the ability to deliver health care that is affordable and accessible. And it will rise the costs of everyday items, whether that's childcare to the groceries and the price you pay at the supermarket. And what for? Because Elon Musk, an unelected man, said, we're not doing this deal. And Donald Trump followed along. So here we are, once again in chaos. And House Democrats are going to stand together and make sure that American families' voices are heard here. Because we shouldn't even be in this situation of being on the verge of another shutdown. This is the 6th time in 2 years that the GOP has led us to this crisis. And it's all about a smokescreen for what they are truly aiming to do in the 119th, That's cut Social Security and Medicare. It is hike up the cost of prescription drugs, and it is ignoring ways to provide solutions to bring down the price of groceries and housing and childcare. This chaos does not benefit anyone except those who already have great wealth and power. And we will remain steadfast in fighting for the American people and delivering for them. It is now my pleasure to yield to our chairman, Pete Aguilar.
Thank you, Whip Clark. I agree with everything Whip Clark and Leader Jeffries have said. The American people are asking for bipartisanship. We delivered a bipartisan solution. Democrats and Republicans in the House and Senate coming together to negotiate a package that puts the American people first. And House Republicans have backed away from it. But this is as much about the future in the next 2 years as well. House Republicans have a choice to work with us or not. Are we truly interested in lowering the costs of childcare, groceries, making housing more affordable? That's what's at stake in the next 2 years. That's why House Democrats continue to fight for the American public and why we will not turn our back on the American people. We will not turn our back on people who are visiting national parks, people who are traveling to see their families this holiday season, people who are providing services around the country. That's what's at stake, and that's why House Democrats stand united with Leader Jeffries in advocating for a sensible, reasonable solution that gets us out of this crisis.
Questions on topic questions only.
I've said that you want to see the original deal that you had brought back to the floor. Does that mean that your caucus is ruling out a slimmed down continuing resolution that may include disaster relief and funding for farmers, or is it only the original deal or not?
House Democrats reached an agreement on behalf of the American people with House Republicans that is bipartisan in nature, comprehensive, solves problems for hardworking American taxpayers, and delivers real results. House Democrats are going to continue to fight for families, farmers, and the future of working class Americans. And in order to do that, the best path forward is the bipartisan agreement that we negotiated. Thank you.
You know, we are going to be here and stand together as Democrats to make sure the American people get what they need out of this. That is our focus. So yes, fundamentally, this is a difficult time for people. But what's really hard, if you are already struggling to pay your bills, and all of a sudden the aid for your small business that you thought was coming is going to not come because Elon Musk and Donald Trump decided that to inject this chaos and hardship into your life. Those are the people we care about. The military families who won't get paid. The people who are counting on their Social Security benefits arriving on time because that is their lifeline. That is where our focus is, making sure that those Americans come through this unscathed, and that's why we will remain here to get the job done for them.
Donald Trump has said that the debt limit must be addressed in this negotiation. Are you open at all in dealing with the debt limit now?
The debt limit issue and discussion is premature at best.
Mr. Leader.
Thank you, sir. If Mike Johnson puts out something that's amiable to Democrats, he may face a revolt in the House Republican conference on the speakership vote on January 3rd. Would Democrats consider voting for him in that vote if he does something amiable to you?
No.
Mr. Leader. What is
It's all right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
To follow up, just to be clear on what you're saying here, you're not closing the door to other possible CRs, is that correct?
We are prepared to move forward with the bipartisan agreement that we thought was negotiated in good faith with House Republicans, along with Senate Democrats and Senate Republicans, that meets the needs of the American people at this moment in time. We are fighting for everyday Americans, not for millionaires and billionaires. We are fighting for everyday Americans who will be hurt by a reckless Republican shutdown.
Mr. Leader.
Scott.
Thank you. Have you spoken recently to President Biden on this fact that the deal has apparently fallen through, and when can we expect to see the president engage on that?
We remain in close contact with stakeholders throughout the Hill and in close contact with the current administration.
Mr. Leader, what is, given the fact that Elon Musk can just unilaterally cause Republicans to pull out of the deal, will this make it harder for House Democrats to negotiate, given that you guys have negotiated in good faith this past Congress? Will it make it harder for you guys to work together in the coming Congress?
House Democrats are going to continue to fight hard for families, farmers, and the future of working class Americans. That's our North Star.
What do you make of the role that Musk is playing here? I mean, who is in charge, do you view, in terms of who you have to negotiate with?
That's a great question. I don't have the answers right now.
Have you been in touch with Speaker
We're going to continue to maintain an open line of communication to see if we can resolve this issue on terms that are favorable to the everyday Americans that House Democrats will continue to fight for every day, every week, every month, and every year. Thank you, everyone.